Hey, it's Jason Creel and you're watching Lawn Care Life. You know, I spend a lot of time obviously thinking about lawn care business, and I wanted to share with you some thoughts about starting a lawn care business, whether you've just started or you're thinking about starting, because I've started 3 lawn care businesses, and I have some things to share with you about those of you who are looking to start. So if you're looking to start, or maybe you just started, or you want to watch it and give advice to those who are thinking about starting, let's talk about it now. So I'm going to title this video, Thoughts for Those Starting a Lawn Care Business. So the other day I passed a guy, and I've been seeing his sign up around town. He's got these cheap signs posted around town on telephone poles and things like that, which I'd be interested to know, does that actually work? Maybe it does. I don't know. It's just the name of his lawn service and a phone number. If any of you have tried that and you get business from it, I'd like to know. So this guy put his signs up around town. I've been seeing his signs. I'm thinking, okay, new lawn service in town. Well, I actually passed him the other day. I said, I recognize that name on that vehicle. That's the one I've been seeing the signs for. Well, here's what it was. He was driving an old minivan, pulling a small trailer with some type of a zero-turn mower on there. I didn't pay that much attention. I think I have an idea what he had, but I can't remember exactly, so I'm not going to say. But let's just say minivan and a small utility trailer wasn't an ideal setup by any means, okay? So let me say what I probably used to would have thought about that would have been like, oh man, look at that guy's pathetic setup. He's pulling a minivan. He's got a less than acceptable zero-turn mower, and what in the world is he doing? He's never gonna make it. But I've actually changed my thoughts on the whole situation. Here's what my thought is now. My thought is, way to go, because you gotta get out there and get started sometime. I mean, it's almost like, let's say you make a New Year's resolution and you're gonna start eating better and working out, okay? And so for some of you, you might think, well, unless I'm not gonna start unless I'm gonna be, working out 6 days a week, no ice cream for a year, and go all in, okay? And that's fine, but what happens is it's very defeating, because it's hard to live up to those standards you set. And sometimes if you just set out with a reasonable goal and got started, it can be better than doing nothing, okay? Well, for him, this person with his minivan, I think, you know what, that's, to me, a smart move is to actually just get out there and get started. And if all you can afford, and I think it's like this, if you see somebody that's cross-eyed, I'm going on a limb here. If you see somebody that's cross-eyed, you don't necessarily have to go up and say, hey man, I couldn't help but notice you're cross-eyed. They know they're cross-eyed, okay? If you see this guy with a minivan pulling a less than great mower, okay, and you don't have to go up and say, oh man, look at that setup you got. That's not, if you got a really nice truck and a great mower and this, that, and the other, you'd be better off and you'd be able to make more money in the lawn business. He probably realizes that the minivan is not the ideal work vehicle. Okay, we don't have to point that out. Of course, I wouldn't. But what I'm saying is, I think he's actually doing a good thing because he got started, And a lot of us, we have this paralysis by analysis where we want to sit back and wait till we can make the ultimate launch. And if you can afford to do that, fine. If you're motivated to do that, fine. But I actually am applauding this person now because he made the jump and he got started. To me, that's the toughest thing, is just getting started. Just taking that step, whether it's going down to the City Hall and getting a business license, going to your local bank and getting a business name and putting it on a checking account, or buying that first business, or going and announcing on Facebook to your friends that, hey, I'm starting a lawn business and this is my business name and we're in business as of yesterday. Those things take a little bit of courage. It can be a little bit awkward sometimes. Maybe if you have a job, people say, well, what are you gonna do? Quit your job? You say, well, maybe you are, maybe not, maybe you're gonna do it on the side. But it's that taking that initial step, making that jump and getting started that can help you down the road. 2 years, is this guy gonna be pulling a minivan? Well, maybe, but it's possible that 2 years from now that he has 150 customers and he's got a nice truck, a nice mower, he's really upgrading, he's just doing a whole lot better, But you've got to get started, and sometimes that's the most difficult part. Now, with that being said, let me say this too. At the time of this video, we're transitioning into fall, and sometimes I think fall can actually be a great time to start. Now, spring is always been the best time for me to get customers, and summer's probably the next best time. Fall's not a great time to get customers. But what fall can be is a great time to get out there and get your feet wet. Maybe if you've got that full-time job, or you're just not doing anything, you just want to get started doing something, you can at least get your feet wet in the lawn business in the fall. Start getting your equipment ready, start building your skill set on how to be better at doing whatever area of lawn care business you're in, whether it's mowing yards or whatever, and you can get your feet under, if you will. That way, when the spring comes rolling around, you can hit the ground at full speed ahead, okay? Sometimes, and I've done this, I started my last lawn business in January. I just moved to a new city right after Christmas, and it was just a mad rush to get everything together. And by the time the spring hit, I mean, we made it happen, but I was not prepared. If I would have been able to start in the fall to get my feet under them a little bit more and then be ready for the spring rush, I feel like I could have taken more advantage of the situation. So, don't think, there's not really a bad time to start. Like I said, spring's your best time to get customers, but like I said, the key here is just get started. Okay, and that's whether that means you got a push mower in the back of your truck and you're just wanting to get started that way. I can't tell you how many people that start that way, and they start with a small setup and they grow from that, and eventually they upgrade their equipment and all that. So let me hear from you. Are you thinking about getting in the lawn business? What's holding you back? Maybe you just started. When did you start? And tell me how it's going so far if it's your first year. Or maybe if you've been in the business a while, did you start really small? And can you give some encouragement to those looking to start? You say, yeah, hey, I started with a minivan and a cheap old mower. Or I started with a push mower in the back of my truck. Or I started with whatever. Maybe provide some encouragement in the comments to those who are thinking about starting, to get them to, make that jump. Because, if you sit there and wait until you've got $75,000 to invest in your equipment and your initial marketing campaign, I mean, all that's great. You know what I'm saying? If you got that, you got that. But for many people, you don't have that, and you're not going to have it next year, and you're not going to have it the year after that. So you might as well go on and get started now with what you got, and having something is better than nothing. That's my thoughts these days. If that's a minivan, then it's a minivan. Let me hear from you. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. I'll continue to provide helpful information. It seems like it never fails. When I want to do a video, loud noises follow soon behind. So, whatever's going on behind me, somebody's building a house or something, my apologies. Just like I talk about starting a lawn business, you shoot videos when you shoot videos. It doesn't mean the environment's always going to be perfect. Barking dogs, loud cars, tools behind you. Seem like the neighbor wants to cut the grass every time I do a video. Not really, but there's always distractions. You just make it happen when you have time. The best day to go fishing and play golf is when you're available, okay? It may not be 70 degrees and perfect.